What if I told you I've seen you naked? Do I need to explain that? Well, what I'm talking about is your digital persona, the information you leave about yourself online. Every day we leave a lot of data online, and we share it willingly. We share information about our lunch, how we decorated the Christmas tree, who we are friends with, what we like, what we dislike. Every day we share information, and then I'm not talking about the metadata, you know, the data about the data, just everything that we share. We share information about our life in social media. We share digital information about our habits, data that tells what suits you. But when you put this information in the hands of an opponent that wants to mislead us, it's really dangerous. And just as we don't realize how naked we are, we have difficulty seeing when we're being manipulated. My name is Hanna. I work with social media analysis, as you might guess, and online research. I've been fascinated with the internet since the middle of the 90s. In the beginning, the social media wasn't there yet, but I jumped on the train as soon as it got there. I researched digital vulnerabilities on social media platforms and internet-connected systems. Sometimes I do it as a partner investigation. It could be an organization that are being afraid that someone is spying on them, or sometimes I do it as a research on disinformation in a larger scale. And when I say that, I'm talking about disinformation that meddles with elections, so it's pretty big stuff. Disinformation, the kind that influence elections, the hidden, the deceptive strategies, has become a method for actors to actually influence us. So when I say I've seen you naked, I actually have. So, I'm sorry. Let's see. I'm going to go do a test. So I take my friend Jane here. This is average Jane. And she's active like most of us. I just took like a typical person in Sweden. She's active on Facebook, Instagram. First, Facebook. Of course, what do we do there? We like stuff. We get angry, we comment, we join groups. Sometimes we don't like Facebook. We have to join it anyway because maybe someone at work has Facebook and said we have to have a group there. She's active in LinkedIn as well because she wants to have her resume up there and show what she's good at. Who has been working with before? She's active on Twitter. Not so much, but she likes it. It happens some things there. She follows some journalists that are communicating online. And she's active on Snapchat. Snapchat she uses more for chatting, but anyway, she's active. And she watches YouTube videos. And don't forget TikTok. She loves TikTok. I mean, haven't you been scrolling there sometimes and you're like, oh my God, it's 3 a.m. How did I get here? Oh, I liked it. And you just keep on going. So she's acting like many of us in many, many channels. So I try to do a test because she likes, she shares, she comments, and I'm going to go somewhere with this. So in my imagination, we are 103 people here. Are you with me? Yeah, okay, good. So this is you, guys. Because if you saw on the perfect first slide, oh, I have to back it, I'm sorry. Is it Jane back? I just took her post. I totally forgot to tell you. Every time Jane has published something, liked, or shared something, I put it together. So she's done it 12,869 times on Facebook. Every time she'd done it on Instagram was not so much, more than 1,000. She'd done the same on LinkedIn. She comments stuff, she writes on her work. I don't know how many of you have been on LinkedIn. It's more like, I'm very proud to pronounce that I have been doing this for a long time, or I have this new opportunity. And she's been on Twitter for like 6,100 times since the beginning. And further on, so I got this number, 38,361 posts that she's done something online. She obviously not Donald Trump, because he posts more than a bot factory. But 38,361 times since she started her internet career, she has been posting online. So if we do that on you guys, and you happen to be 103 people, as in my imagination, that would be like 103, and the average J number, like 3,951 data points. Oh my God, I've seen you naked. Have you posted so much? For real? And this is just the data that you share with me willingly. And you have to know that the other side, the metadata, the data about the data, is much, much more. So now when we put that data together, we have a lot of data. Online communication has changed the information landscape. More voices were added, and speech seems to be freer than ever. We depended more and more on social media, and now our virtual identity is actually as important as our physical one. I even heard a podcast just recently about internet connectivity when someone said, well, access to internet and social media is a human right. That kind of got me thinking. Is social media as important as the right, the freedom right of religion, education, and freedom of speech? Is social media the freedom of speech? From the beginning, that was my belief. That social media was the essence of freedom of speech. Everyone could go to this, get the same opportunity, go online and communicate. The online democracy was free, transparent, and available. And everybody got the same opportunity to speak their mind. The farmer from Bracciano in Italy was chatting online. The shop owner from Luleå in Sweden and the president of the United States was all talking on the same platform at the same time. They can comment each other and they can share information. That's pretty cool, actually. In the beginning of our social media development, that was the amazing idea. Online communication for everyone. Platforms such as Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and also later TikTok spread fast over the world. They are free, the same for everyone, and you don't want to be excluded, do you? The social media platforms want to connect to more and more people. And to do that, they need reliable, high-speed internet, of course. Areas in the world that are not connected as well yet are getting in touch with new internet projects, such as Facebook connectivity, now called Meta Internet for All. Suddenly, people starting using internet through social media channels. And social media became the entrance to our online activity for most of us. And through our virtual identity, we not only talk to friends, share pictures of our lunch, we also now read our news and form our opinion about the world through social media. We read the news that our friends share, that the influencers we follow share, that the groups we are joining are discussing, and that is what's forming our beliefs of the world and society. The virtual world is blooming and change is always in the air. But I have to admit, lately I actually changed my opinion about social media. Do you really believe that social media is free? Do they give this opportunity and entertainment to us all for free? Well, we all have to pay a price. And the price we pay is information about our habits, position data, what devices we use, when we use them, what you surf online on, what you buy online. I know, even the embarrassing stuff. What we feel like, what we dislike, who we trust, what makes us angry. In short, social media platforms today and other tech giants strip us naked. They know more about us and our feelings than we do ourselves. The money machine social media is built to keep us online as much as possible, as long as possible. It's built to feed us with more what we like, so we have to stay, and we do. At the same time, algorithms behind advertising is matching us with sellers, and other algorithms steer what we can see and feed us with content matching what we have been engaging with before. Things that we like, that make us comment, that make us share, interact, and be a good user in the system. The algorithm gives our mind the recognition and attention that we crave. And we stay online. And as we stay, the algorithm learns more about us. And steer us into more discussions, and more groups, and more communities that are alike ourselves. They feed us with posts that are emotional, provoking happiness, joy, irritation, and anger. Emotional posts keep us online, especially the angry ones. The algorithm control started with small steps, and in the beginning, we really liked it. But has become utterly clear the last year and a half is that social media platforms are much less about open exchange and discussion, but the perfect tool for spreading disinformation, hate, and even radicalization. Just to be clear, it's absolutely okay to write online that I don't agree with the government policies. That's totally okay. But it's not okay to promote people to burn down cell towers, to promote people to attack vaccine hubs, or maybe the democratic institutions of a country. How did we end up here? So I actually borrowed this picture for our world in data. As you see, 2004 until 2018, so we have to write a little bit on this one. Facebook is having this nice journey, and as you see, from the beginning in 2004 until 2012, everything is going slowly upwards. But if we look at it as it is today, and as you've seen, the world data hasn't published that yet, so I had to take a pen and write it, so you're with me. Because somewhere after 2019, we got a pandemic. And you can see the interest in social media is increasing. TikTok is formally exploding online, and Facebook is soon to be reaching 3 billion users. I think there are 2.8 billion users today. The politicians did not recognize social media as anything but entertainment and communication during this period. Few could imagine the potential as platform developed, grew, and changed, and merged. The growth of internet use, online habits, and the use of social media happen in a complete vacuum when it comes to rules and regulations. Just this published graph by World Data says it all. We see the development is massive. When the tech giants learned to monetize our personal data and how to collect more refined and detailed aspects of it, no one was paying attention. Facebook stepped from introducing the like button, you know, the thumb, until today we got 7 different emotions. It's not just for your fun. It's because Facebook wants to know when you interact what you feel, because then they can use information, and all the tech platforms work the same. Now they don't only know if you want to engage with a post, but also if you make you laugh and make you angry or sad. And the different platforms use this knowledge aggressively to earn more money, actually. No one could anticipate the vast development of the social media platforms, and it took a long time before politicians realized that social media is not just for fun. Our leaders had underestimated the power. It's also fair to acknowledge that our policymakers and our politicians did not understand how social media platform works, and not how they use and abuse our personal data. They woke up when it was practically too late. When election has been meddled with, for some time, actually. When public opinion had been polarized to a point when it seems almost impossible to heal wounded societies. Lately, political leaders have started to try to regulate what tech giants can do and not with our personal data. But Facebook, for example, was fined with a $5 billion fee in 2019 for not being transparent enough with how their users' data was being handled, and for breaching the 2012 agreement on users' ability to control our own data. But such fines are addressing specific agreements and specific platforms. What is lacking is a broad approach on how to regulate the use of our personal data. EU are trying with the GDPR, as you probably heard of, but their efforts become toothless when the user, you and I, are still accepting different agreements online, and of course we do. Otherwise, we can't see the whole platform or the whole web page. So one conclusion is also that you and I need to learn how this works and how that affects us. But securing my personal data is only one step. That the algorithms are presenting us with vastly different types of messages, choosing to make us want to remain on the platform, that's a second. Oh, sorry, didn't pop up. Now I hope it pop up. The lack of political leadership in this matter had driven us into a situation where insecurity has increased and inclusiveness is absent. So my question is it possible to control the social media platforms when the world looks like this? Because it does. Is it possible to get a platform with 2.8 billion users that they actually call Facebook people today, so it's actually more like a continent, to actually change their behavior. If we need to do that, we have to be very convincing. The world map has changed, and the chance to influence the social media platforms is small to impossible. We have let this company build their business model on our data about us, our nakedness. They are not only let them use our data without thinking a second about it, authorities in the society hadn't recognized it as a challenge. During this last year and a half, social media got from entertainment and communication to the center of a COVID-adapted universe. The algorithms were piped with our search of information and reactions to situation online. Our worries and search for information made us easy target for disinformation. We saw posts on TikTok that urged people to burn down cell towers. That actually became a worldwide crisis when more than 300 telemasts were burned down in the world. Or disinformation such as drink bleach and you will cure COVID that actually resulted in death and injured people. When the global pandemic was a fact, disinformation got into overdrive online. Everything from magical made-up cures to theories that question if there was a pandemic at all spread in social media. And authority was pulling the alarm. Something needed to be done. But how? Meetings with social media platforms were held, and the result was that social media was for the first time censored in a larger scale. Online posts were removed or tagged with "this not might be true." You've probably seen it somewhere. Or user got blocked for spreading false information. The open and free social media became the platform for frustration and anger. And authorities around the world are now dependent on social media platforms' goodwill to actually follow these agreements. But there's hope that politicians realize that that is not the way to go. There's hope that political leaders realize that the massive impact of disinformation is actually dependent on algorithms. Recently, the US Congress, I think it was the Energy and Commerce Committee, discussed several proposals that strip tech companies from legal immunity against algorithmically recommended content. That's the content that you're going to be fed within social media. And today, political leaders are actually realizing that communication in social media is not only communication and fun. Politicians are starting to realize that the use of ranking algorithm is actually the root to many of the challenges we have today in society. And the ranking algorithms are made to maximize your engagement. That's the problem. This is the perfect environment for disinformation. And I realize that if we don't do anything about it, we're going to end up like computer-controlled animals sitting by the computer, and it's going to look something like that. Social media is not only fun, but could also be used as a cognitive weapon to actually control us to do stuff. Thank you.